Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. Specifically LSU recruiting, more specifically LSU quarterback recruiting for that. Bringing our guy Sonny Ship from 24/7 Sports. That's over at Go 24/7. Glenn West was with us about 30 minutes ago. Now Sonny joins us. Sonny, how we doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. When you say quarterback recruiting, man, that's like saying let's go eat at Ruth's Chris.
That's exactly right. That's
You're
what we
talking
want.
money right there, baby. You're talking money.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about it. Obviously, LSU has the number one quarterback in the next class in Bryce Underwood committed. But they sent out a couple of offers in the last week or so to high-profile quarterbacks that are younger. Elijah Haven here at Dunham and then Colton Nussmeier over at Flower Mound. Both have connections to LSU. One goes to school in Baton Rouge. The other one's older brother is the starting quarterback. So what can you tell us about these two guys and where they are in their high school careers?
Yeah, Sloan went on a little bit of a offer bender over the weekend. Dished out five at least that we know of and that we've seen reported for the 2027 class. And it's always nice when you can start in your own backyard, like you mentioned with Elijah Haven, the number one quarterback, number one prospect overall in the 2027 class on 24/7 Sports. And he's a guy that Sloan went and watched play Thursday night. And statistically speaking, it wasn't one of Haven's best nights, although he did have a big run late in the game that really helped Dunham pull it out. But he did obviously showed Sloan enough to where he picked up the offer, and that was one that I think a lot of people thought was going to be coming. And then with Nussmeier on the Nussmeier tweeted his out on Saturday, and that's another one that you felt was coming just because of those ties that you alluded to. And it's going to be very interesting to see how this quarterback picture shakes out for 2027 because, like you had mentioned, you got Bryce Underwood on board for 2025. 2026 really looks like, there's really not a quarterback that you can look at right now that LSU is offered or in Louisiana that they're still evaluating. And you can say, okay, I think this LSU has a really good shot to land in this guy right here. And I think a big part of that is because of that 2027 class and how many guys you have in there that have ties to the program that that LSU likes a lot, and that Sloan feels like he has a really good chance of signing. So these next two quarterback cycles are going to be very, very interesting to sort out from a recruiting point stand.
Why is Elijah Haven the best player in the country?
I think a big part of it is that when you go back and when you look at what he's done, at what he did at Dunham, obviously as a freshman, but then you go back and you look at what he did on the basketball court. He's a guy who, the rankings guys, they really like players who play more than one sport. They like these multiple sport guys who, excel not at just one, but another one. And just kind of whether it's track and field, whether it's basketball, what have you. And so I think that plays into it is that they can, they see that, I guess that athleticism that he has, the size that he has is very, very intriguing, probably pushing 6'4", to over the 200 pounds, 210, 215 range. And so when you look at the measurables and when you look at the athleticism and then you watch him throw the football and then you say, oh, wow, yeah, this kid is only 15 years old too. There's a lot to like in that body of work.
And let's talk about Nussmeier. Obviously, he's another sophomore, but he's listed here on 24/7 as 6'3", 180 pounds, and is a 5-star on the composite, 4-star by 24/7 Sports, number 18 nationally. What do you think about his game?
Yeah, old folks like me who remember watching his dad slinging the ball up at Idaho, remember Doug Nussmeier being a lefty and Garrett obviously, a righty. And so Colton kind of, is probably going to bring back a lot of memories of his dad just because of, they both throw from that southpaw side. But I think that he's going to, he's a guy who probably, whereas you look at Haven and you say, okay, he's number one, You feel good about that right now. I think with Nussmeier, I think Nussmeier is going to have a lot of opportunities to really push for that number one spot because the more that they see these kids in certain settings, the more film that they see on them, the more they see them throwing at camps and 7-on-7 settings and all of that. Just a bigger body of work that you get, I think you're going to see that there's not as much of a difference between Elijah Haven and Colton Nussmeier, maybe as it may seem. And granted, you got one who's 1 and 1 is number 3, so there's not a big difference with that to begin with. But I want to say Nussmeier's like 18 in the country right now overall.
Yep.
So if they were awarding the 5 stars to the top 32 players in that class, like they do every class, Nussmeier would be a 5-star too. So I'm anxious to see Nussmeier throw a little bit more, see how his body progresses, see how the arm strength comes along. Is he one of these guys who can just whip the ball out there, or does he have one of these? I hate to pick on southpaws, but does he have one of these typical lefty loop-de-loop throws like we've seen? Kind of like a Max Johnson, just. I don't know what it is, but it seems like the lefties, they always struggle to push that ball out there.
All right, so LSU's plan here. You've got a couple of really talented quarterbacks with ties to your school, either geographically or actually blood ties here. I would imagine it's unlikely that they can get both of those guys into one class. So how do you work that recruiting angle?
I don't see how you can. I don't see how you can get 2 guys of that magnitude into this class. It's always hard. Even before NIL, it was hard to get 2 quarterbacks in the same class. And now with NIL, I mean, look, anytime you put 5 stars next to a kid's name, I mean, in the age that we're in now, you just know that okay, that's going to cost some money. That's going to cost some funds right there. And when you consider that you've got 2 guys who both feel like okay, they're a QB1 in whatever offense that they're going to go into. I just don't see any way that you could get 2 of the 5 guys that Joe Sloan has already offered in that class. As far as how do you navigate that, it's going to be very interesting to see because you've got, you've obviously got Elijah Haven in your backyard. You've got Colton Nussmeier, who is in Texas, but as many ties as the family has, as well as Joe Sloan knows, the family and everything. It's almost like you got 2 kids who in the same class, at the same position, in the same family, who have everything that you're kind of looking for. So how do you make that pecking order? I'm sure Joe Sloan's never going to tell you. I don't even know if he would put it up on the recruiting board to let that leak out. But, he's got a 1-2 when you're trying to rank these guys. I honestly think that the best approach that when you're looking at a situation like this, because if you look at the top 10 quarterbacks in the 2027 class, only one of them is committed right now, and he's committed to Ohio State. He's a California kid who's committed to Ohio State, and so I don't think that you're up against the clock or anything. So I think you still have some time to let all of this work out. But I think anyone who told you, okay, man, for 2027, I think it's going to be this guy right here. I would put my money. I would feel comfortable saying I think it's going to be either Haven or Nussmeier. But man, outside of that, I wouldn't even begin to know where to go.
It's going to be very, very interesting to see how all those dynamics play, whether or not Garrett's here next year or not, where Joe Sloan is. If he moves on, assistants generally don't stay one place too long, and Joe Sloan's now been here for 4 years. So it's just there's a lot of dynamics at play there.
Especially talking that far out.
I know. Talking about 2027 here. We're sitting in 2024. So we'll see. I know y'all will be all over it at 24/7. We appreciate a little bit of time today, Sonny.
Absolutely, man. You have a great day, brother.
He is Sonny Ship. Go 24/7. Does a great job on the recruiting beat, and it's a very, very interesting situation that LSU finds itself in. It's a good problem, and I use a problem in air quotes to have. If you've got 2 guys that you'd really like to take, but really can only realistically get one of them. But again, I have no idea if Elijah Haven wants to stay in Baton Rouge to play college football or not. I have no idea if Colton Nussmeier wants to jump into his brother's footsteps or not. I have no idea. I just know that they're very, very talented. I mean, Cassie had a picture up of Colton Nussmeier and Garrett a second ago, and Colton Nussmeier is already taller than Garrett. Garrett's been in college for 3.5 years, and Colton's a sophomore in high school. So that kind of gives you an indication of what that size looks like and what he could potentially be over the next couple of years. So I'll react to all this. Appreciate Sonny for giving us some information. I'll react to all this after we take a timeout. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.